And the question that came in this week that I thought was really interesting from someone was that they want their kids to see them pushing themselves to be a better parent, a better human being, but that they're afraid that that might come across like they don't know what they're doing or they're completely lost, and they don't really know like how to balance that because they're afraid that it's going to mean their kids won't respect them. And so they wanted some suggestions on what to do or what to do about it. Now, I'm going to be very clear here. I never give advice on what anybody should do. As you've heard me say before, should is a shame-based word, and it implies that whatever you're doing is not good enough. So I'm going to start there. I am never going to tell anybody what they should or should not do, period. It's about finding the calibration that works for you. What I can do is speak around the lens of my belief system on this topic and how Ashley and I try to operate with our kids so that we can really be the example. And I think it comes down to something that's very simple. We are all human beings. We are all flawed. We all make mistakes. We all do brilliant things. But it's about the process of continuing to learn and grow together that's important. And admitting when we have made mistakes or when we have screwed up. Because it's not a question on whether or not we're going to screw up. We will. We're going to make mistakes. And so investing in ourselves to be a better parent and a better human being means that wherever we're at today is not where we desire to be. It means that we haven't reached the level that we want to be operating at in this world, and that even if we're very good at what we do currently, there's opportunity for more. So it's about framing that in a conversation with your kids that we are constantly trying to improve ourselves, that mommy and daddy make mistakes, that we're investing in ourselves to be a better parent, and that, by the way, there is no manual to become a parent. And so we are learning as we go on the fly with real-time scenarios that we've maybe never faced before. You know, I sometimes will snap at the kids, raise my voice in a time where I might not need it, might not have the patience to understand what they're doing. And those are moments to communicate to them that I am human, that I do make mistakes, but I have the ability to communicate when I know I've done something wrong and commit myself to future improvement. You know, my son the other day was telling a story, and I was just being jovial in the moment and asking him questions throughout his story because I had fun seeing where his mind would expand it to, but he was getting continually frustrated, and I wasn't really picking up on it, even though he was being very, very clear in the moment that it was bothering him and frustrating him. And I just continued to forge ahead. Well, he ultimately shut down. And what I missed in all of that was how he was interpreting my language. So he walked out, went in the other room, and probably felt bullied. And really, I just was having fun because to see where he took those additional pieces was fascinating to watch. How quick he could think on his feet. But something that started with good intent, he received in a negative way. Well, this is an improvement area for me because I never want my son to feel as if I am bullying him, not respecting what he's saying, or what he heard, which was, he's not a good storyteller. Now, I never said that, but that's how he received my asking questions and not kind of really leaning into the moment that I could tell that he was not operating at his best in that moment. So it turned into a conversation where he was able to articulate that to me, talk to me about how it made him feel like he was a bad storyteller. And I was able to tell him, I will never, ever do anything intentionally to hurt him, hurt his feelings, hurt his pride, hurt his ego, ever. That all I want to do is make sure that I find ways to highlight and support him and what makes his heart happy. And then I explained to him what I did and why I did it and what I was intending and what I was getting out of it on the back end, but I was blind to what the impact was. Led to a really meaningful discussion with my 6-year-old who had the ability to tell me how he felt, and we could break it down even further. And I just told him, I said, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. I'm sorry that in the moments I did not pay attention to the words that you were giving me. I'm sorry that I forged ahead on something that I was getting joy out of, and neglecting in some ways how you were trying to tell the story and feel pride in you being a good storyteller. Long and the short of it is, we then left with a mutual understanding, and I told him, look, when I do this, it's because I like to see how your brain works. I like to see how quickly you respond to things. I like to see how you expand on stories. But because I now know that this is something that bothers you sometimes, I'm going to do my best effort to make sure that I don't do that with you. And if I do, I'm also going to pay attention if you start giving me feedback. And if I do and I don't hear feedback from you, that means that you also understand where I'm coming from and that we found a middle ground that works for us. That's me improving as a parent. That's me admitting that I don't have it all figured out. That's me admitting that I have lots of room for improvement and he can be a part of that solution, but I have to lead by example so that he can know the expectation isn't perfection. The expectation isn't that we know everything. The expectation is that we recognize when we stumble and we seek feedback to be able to put ourselves in a position to succeed. So that's how I'd answer that question. You can do with it whatever you want, because I will never tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But I think that mistakes, failures, opportunity for growth, and our kids being able to see that gives them the ability to have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, and recognize that we are constant evolutions of self, that there is no final destination if we commit to the journey. So hopefully that's helpful. You know how we wrap this up. So until next time, be great and be you.